Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Mang-Gust. Uh, for this video, I'm going to be talking about the runner-ups, the four mangas that I really enjoy, but I decided to leave them off of the official list for one reason or another. Um, and the four that I have for this list are Kenichi, History's Mightiest Disciple, Fullmetal Alchemist, the Dragon Ball manga, and Blue Exorcist. Now, for Fullmetal Alchemist, I love the Fullmetal Alchemist manga. I love it. I own every volume. It is a fantastic manga. Absolutely adore it. But I also can't deny that uh, if I'm going to choose to either read the entire manga or watch the entire anime, I would honestly rather just watch the whole anime, if I'm being honest. I would sooner choose to watch the anime over read the manga again, simply because the anime is just that good. It is just that amazing. It's such an incredible adaptation. The only chapters that I will actually go out of my way to read are in the first volume of the manga. Those being the chapter at the coal mine, the chapter at the coal mine, um, and the chapter on the train where we get introduced to Roy Mustang for the first time. Those are the two chapters that I will go out of my way to read in the manga, um, as well as the special bonus mini bonus chapters that are at the end of certain volumes. I will go out of my way to read those as well because those are canon to the story. So I will read some of it, but aside from the special chapters and those two official chapters, everything else I'll just watch Brotherhood for. It is just that good of an adaptation. Um, and to be honest, the same can be said for Dragon Ball. I love the entirety of the Dragon Ball manga, both original and Z. Um, it ran for 42 volumes, and I absolutely adore the manga. It's a fantastic it is a fantastic manga. Um, However, I'm also not the biggest fan of Dragon Ball. I enjoyed the manga and I enjoyed watching the anime, but if I have a choice of watching uh more Dragon Ball or watching I don't know, one of these other three animes, I'm gonna choose watching the other three animes. Kenichi, Blue Exorcist, Fullmetal Alchemist. I'm gonna sooner rewatch those than I will Dragon Ball. And it's the same thing with the manga. I would sooner reread those mangas than I would reread Dragon Ball. Because while I do enjoy it, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I am a casual fan of Dragon Ball. I enjoy it. I'm just not overly obsessive about it. Uh, and none of these are in order. These I'm just talking briefly about each of them. Um, Kenichi is here mainly because as much as I love the manga of Kenichi, the way it ended was so abrupt. Uh, the ending was so abrupt and made so little sense that it honestly left a bad taste in my mouth. I love the journey leading up to that ending, but the last I want to say 3 chapters of the manga just suddenly stopped. Like everything was stopped. Um, and I'd rather not go really deep into it. But it was a very abrupt ending because the creator was essentially forced to end the series early. Um, they were not allowed to. They were not able to end it the way they wanted to. So they had to abruptly end it, and that meant that a lot of the several of the villains were never actually brought down. Um, and all of the plot points were just resolved in a single. All of the plot points in the whole series had to be resolved within like a single chapter, so that way the final chapter could go. That way, the final chapter of the whole series could go the way that the creator wanted it. Um, so the conflict had to be resolved in a single chapter, and then the aftermath of that resolution had to happen within one chapter, and then the final chapter with a time skip had to happen. So uh, it was insanely rushed. The creator was not given the time to end it the way they wanted to, which sucks considering how they were in the middle of the final volume, and we're actually in the middle of the final fight. They were in the middle of the final fight in the series. Like, if they had been given like 10 more chapters, I'm sure they could have ended it the way they wanted to. Like 10 more chapters, and that's all it would have taken. And they didn't get that. And so like the ending just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but I still love the series. I still love the characters. I still love the journey. But the destination, I know it's about the journey, not the destination, but when the destination, the reason why you set out, ends up being a huge disappointment, it sort of undermines the journey a bit, and causes the journey to leave a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth, and that is unfortunate because I do love the manga. Now, as far as Blue Exorcist, that is currently still going, and while I have been enjoying the manga, I have slowly started to lose interest in it. I have been enjoying it, but I have slowly started to lose interest in it, and that honestly began with, I believe it was volume 22 or 23. I think it was 22, when an entire arc all about explaining the backstory of the main character's adoptive father and the main character's mother and Satan and all this, like these characters, their entire backstory is told out in this whole massive arc that spans all the way from volume 22 to 26. 5 whole volumes. 5 entire volumes. 3 of which are basically the size of 1.5 volumes. So that's 65. Oh no, because it's like 6 chapters per. It's like 6 chapters per volume, except the 3 has. So about 40 chapters, roughly 40 chapters of manga for just the backstory. I started to fall off during that because it just I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't care. I don't need to know every single detail about what happened. I liked the mystery. I liked how there were just some questions that were just being left unanswered. It was left to the reader's imagination. It's like, how exactly did his mother and Satan fall in love? Why exactly was his adopted father really as great a guy as he seemed, or did he have some darkness in him too? Like, there were just some things that is some questions that had arisen throughout the series that I was glad were questions. I was glad that they didn't have answers because it let me come up with my own conclusions. It let me just kind of be creative, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting to think about. You learn literally every single detail. And I'm like, I don't need to know this. I don't want to know this. But it's part of the manga, so I'm reading it. And I know more about the backstory of the adopted father than I ever wanted to know. And yeah, I have slowly been losing interest in the series. Currently, there are 27 volumes out, and based on the way volume 27 ends, I highly suspect the end of the series might be drawing near. And to be honest, I think I'm gonna wait till the series ends, and then I'll read that, and then I'll read everything that I haven't read. Like, um, I saw volume 27 at my local Barnes and Noble a while back, and I skipped straight to the end to see what the final page looked like. And I got the vibe that like we're at the climax of the story. And yeah, so I'm not gonna read volumes 27 and onward. I'm gonna wait till the whole series is done and then just kind of binge read like all the volumes that I haven't read yet. Simply because I just that whole backstory, that the whole past arc, just the whole flashback arc, just took it out of me. I've been losing interest. I want to enjoy this series. I want to keep reading, but I'm gonna wait a while. So that's why it's on a runner up. I did still want to include it in the list. I did want to include it, but I have been losing interest. But yeah. So that said, those are my four runner-ups for this list. So I will be doing videos every Tuesday through Saturday. So hope you're all looking forward to that. So join me tomorrow for number 20. All right. Take care, everybody.